Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your peppers. Shake your peppers. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. So today is pepper processing day, which means I've got to go outside into the garden and cut out all of the pepper plants that I currently have in the 3x4 metal raised bed out there. I also have 2 quarts of sliced jalapenos already in my fridge, and they've just been sitting in apple cider vinegar, just chilling. That actually came from my dad. Thank you, Daddy-o, appreciate it. So we're gonna make pickled jalapenos out of those, and then we're gonna see what we get for the rest of the peppers in the garden. Got my gloves on, got my pruners, and let's take a look outside and see what we are working with here. Man, it almost feels criminal to take some of these out too early, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Let's have a chit chat as I take these peppers off of these plants. So the peppers didn't do too bad this year. I did get a lot of banana peppers. I always get a lot of banana peppers. I didn't get as many bell peppers as I would have liked. But for these smaller ones, I might be able to just pickle them whole. These poblanos, they did really well. I will definitely be growing these, and I think are they anchos or poblanos? Gosh, I can't remember right now. Are those the same? Is that like a jalapeno and a chipotle pepper where it just matters if it's ripe and or if it's smoked? All right, I will educate myself on that. But these did very well. And we did a lot of chile relleno type meals with them. Y'all, it is actually getting very sunny, so I'm gonna take off my hat. So some of these are half rotted, not really good, but they might be good to save seeds. Look at those seeds. But what I typically do is put the fruit back in the bed and let it compost in place. I wasn't getting to these peppers as quickly as I should have towards the end of the season, so unfortunately a good portion of the peppers that I have behind me they have some sort of bacterial or fungal on them. So if I can't use them, I'll just chuck them back into the bed and I'll let them compost, and maybe we'll get pepper volunteers next year, which would be pretty cool. I mean, look at these. Some of these plants though did so well. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your peppers. Shake your peppers. All right, here's the banana pepper that went red, but is still very, very firm. So this is perfect for sweet peppers. Oh. Here's more of that fungal like I was talking about. You can kind of see into the raised bed behind me. You don't want to can peppers that have blemishes or have fungal or bacterial issues. You just don't want to can any kind of food that really has that. So some of these are just not suited to canning. So you'll see here, there's a lot of blemishes on these banana peppers. You don't want to can those. So these I'll just in the bed behind me. Some of these are good still, so I'm not too disappointed. Look at these little guys. Won't these just make the cutest little pickled pepper snacks? Look at these tiny little guys. We have to be very selective. You have to be harsh when you are choosing which peppers you are going to can and preserve. You want good, healthy ones, not like this. You see this? You see this? Ooh, see that guy? He's dripping. Ugh. Yuck. All right, we're just gonna put that whole thing there. So that's it. We got through all of the peppers. Here's our haul. Oh God, I wish you could smell that. Something I noticed while I was cutting out the peppers is that this raised bed is actually very, very dry. The soil is like dust, and I did struggle with keeping this well watered throughout the season. I think that was part of my problem, and why I didn't get as many peppers as I would have liked, but I still had a good pepper year. It's way better than last year where I had 0 peppers. I think there was a lot of issues just with maybe even the right organic matter, because if you remember, this was my old Ruth Stout bed where I had tried to grow potatoes. So it was my native clay soil, cardboard, and just straw. And that was it. There was no other additional organic matter. That's what we were dealing with. So I think it'll just take a few seasons to maybe build up the soil health in this particular raised bed. So I'm going to definitely be incorporating a lot of organic matter into this new raised bed to make sure that it is healthy enough for next season. Let's take this inside and can these babies up. Okay. So I've filled the stock pot up with water so that I can go ahead and kind of clean them off a bit. I have 7 of the jelly jars left. So we've got to go ahead and get these all cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm just gonna scrub these up real quick, and then we'll go ahead and take the jalapeno peppers out and work on our brine. So I have cleaned the jars, I hand washed them, I checked them for any sort of nicks or dents, which is very important to do. I cannot stress that enough. You don't want your jars to potentially break in the canner. That sucks. Trust me, it's happened to me. Don't do it. Ugh. So here they are, washed, cleaned. They're gonna go into my electric canner, and we're going to set it for water bath canning for 10 minutes. I will share the ball pickled jalapeno recipe. If you would like to try it yourself, I'll go ahead and put a link to that down in the description of the video. I took the 2 quarts of already sliced and in vinegar jalapenos out of the fridge. I'm going to drain the liquid out of these quarts to see how much I have, and then I will add an equal amount of water. Then I'm gonna add salt and sugar to taste. I've got my salt, my sugar, my water, my vinegar in here, and once this comes to a boil, I will go ahead and hot pack my jars. Most pickling recipes actually will call for ball pickle crisp or something similar. That is calcium chloride. Ball pickle crisp is just the brand name that they have for it. It is calcium chloride, so if you are looking for these types of supplies online, you can find them much cheaper. Now, if you do not do a lot of pickling, it would make sense to probably just buy pickle crisps container, because you really just don't need that much. Me personally, we pickle a lot of things, so I just bought myself a 1-pound bag of calcium chloride. So now I have it and I can add it to my jars and I don't gotta worry about it. You really only need to add like an 1/8 or a 1/16 of a teaspoon since we're doing half pints. Now the ball recipe calls for pint jars, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm just gonna do a little pinch in each of my jars and that satisfies me. If you have measuring spoons at home, use it. I have lost mine. So we're gonna be eyeballing this. There we go, just a little bit. Just a few little granules. Calcium chloride. All right, let's pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Looking good. Okay, now we're gonna want to add our brine. Maybe I can stuff a few more jalapenos in there though, and we can make this 7, because that would be awesome. Let's do it. Let's go for it, guys. Let's do it. Add a little bit more vinegar to this. Why not? More vinegar don't hurt. Yeah, boy. We're going to be able to do all of these in 7 containers. Let's measure, make sure that we've got that 1/2 inch headspace. So I do have my little thing here. 1/2 inch is going to be up to this little line here. We definitely have 1/2 inch headspace. All right, let's put this boiling brine now. See how it's come to a beautiful boil. We're gonna go ahead and pour this over all of our jars, and then I'm going to put the lids on, tighten them with the bands over there, and just put them straight into the canner. is in a jar with proper headspace. I made sure that I got the bubbles out, and we are gonna go ahead and process this for 10 minutes. I'll go ahead and let it sit and calm down for about 5. Now this is my electric canner, so it does go through its own kind of process. You don't want to leave them too much in the canner after they finish processing, because you don't want them to continue to cook, especially with things that you are trying to keep with some level of crisp to it, right? I've got these right here, which are the anchos that we grew this year. I'm going to dice these up and put them in the 4-ounce jelly jars, the little tiny ones, so that I can use those as just little chilies to add to future chili or tacos or other kinds of recipes throughout the winter. I got all of that chopped up, and now I have this in the canner. It's gonna process for 10 minutes because I am also pickling the anchos. For the rest of these peppers, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is chop them up and pressure can them in pints. And then I will just have like a pepper medley. That'll be the easiest way, I think, to preserve these peppers and also be able to have the flexibility to use them for whatever I want, because I'm just not sure yet what we're gonna use them for. Oh, and look at the jalapenos! I had one jar already that popped, the others haven't. They're not popping as quickly as my jelly does, and I think that's because of the heat aspect to it maybe, but I think they'll all seal. We'll check them later. I'm not gonna move them. I'm gonna leave them there, and then I'll be taking out the ones when they're done, and then by that time, it should be time to go to the dentist, so. I am literally staring at this canner. It has 2 minutes. 2 minutes until it is cool and I can take these out, and I am staring at the clock. I have to go to my dentist appointment. Why do I do this to myself? Literally! 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh my gosh, as soon as that sucker says done, I am ripping off this lid. Done! All right, turn it off. Here we go. Let's take them out. All right. It's still bubbling a bit. Usually I like to wait till it's done bubbling entirely, but I don't have time. I've got to go to an appointment. Goodbye. And I'll just leave this plugged in with the lid off until we come home. That's fine. Put that right there. All right, deuces. So as I'm going through each of these tiny peppers, these little ones here, I'm cutting off the stems, and I'm poking a hole in the actual pepper so that once it's canning, it won't like explode, and it allows the liquid to penetrate the pepper. Larger ones that are slightly bigger, I not only cut off the top and poke a hole in it, I poke more than one, and I actually do longer slits here because they are larger peppers, and you just want to make sure that that liquid is penetrating. So I packed 1 pint, as discussed, with these peppers that I have poked holes in. I'm going to put brine in this, and we're going to put them in the pressure canner. I ended up not putting in a few of these because I just didn't like the way that they looked. I didn't trust it. Now I have them all prepared here in my cast iron, and I'm just going to pop them into this oven for about a little bit over 5 minutes. I want to see some blistering on the skin, hopefully, and then I'm going to pull them out and cover them and let them sit for a second, and then hopefully that'll help me peel the skins off. That's what the recipe says, to take the skins off. I'm not going to fight too hard. These are very thin-walled peppers, so if they come off, they come off. If they don't all come off, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to put them in the cans, in the jars, and go from there. I also have the kettle on where I am heating up some water because I am going to put hot water over these peppers once I pack them into jars. All right, see you in 5 minutes. 5 minutes later. Take a look at that. Woo-wee! See the heat coming out of that baby. The kids are almost home. I'm waiting for the peppers that we roasted to cool down so I can handle them and then peel the skins off. Since I have to wait for that to cool down, I decided to take those little mini whole peppers that I had. I put them in the brine, boiled them in the brine so that the peppers would absorb the liquid. Then I jarred them up, and now I have just that one jar going through the canner now through a water bath. And then by the time that's done, I'll be able to, I think, maybe handle those. So no time is wasted. You'll see I put other jars in here with it. I didn't put lids on or anything, but just so that it helps hold space while it's canning. You do want to have decent capacity in your canner when you run it, even if you're just going to be canning one thing. It is so hot in this kitchen now because we've had everything going. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. I opened up all the windows. It's like a beautiful 65 degrees outside, so whew, I'm hoping that it comes in and cools things down and helps my house not smell so strongly of pickled peppers. I don't think that's a Yankee Candle anyone would intentionally buy. While we're waiting, let's talk about this book. This is the all-new Ball Book of Canning and Preserve. It advertises itself as 350 of the best canned, jammed, pickled, and preserved recipes. And it is that. It is more of a cookbook. It gives you an idea of what you can make, and then what, after you've made it, what recipes that you can, create with that. Bus is here. Finally done. Look at the time, you guys. It's pretty much 7 o'clock at night. Now I can take out the 3 pints of mixed peppers that I have in here and let those cool down. So let's take care of that. Ooh, look at that one. That was still boiling. My assistant, Julian. Look at them boil, guys. I think that's so cool. Here, we'll zoom in. Pressure canning is so neat. Every time you take them out, they're usually still boiling. Thanks for hanging out with me today and processing the peppers. As always, I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.